Anyway, moving on. Another possible factor that suggests the possible relationship between Cusabo and Tainoâ is the similarity in the manner in which place names are constructed. As noted above, Tainoâ and Cusabo appear to have formed names to communities by adding a pluralizing suffix to a noun, Tainoâ and Guano. In addition, both Tainoâ and other Arawakan languages in Cusabo appear to form names of islands with the word kai, or kaya, island, followed by a descriptor. In the Arawakan language, this construction is seen, for example, in the name of the Cayman Islands. It's also the source of the word key, as in Florida Keys, Key West, Key Largo. In Cusabo, the construction appears to be present in the former name of an island in Charleston Harbor, which is Tainoâ, which would literally mean, according to, well, Kai would be island, Yawa, according to Taylor, is Palmetto. And so it would be Palmetto Island, and there is still a Palmetto Island in Charleston Harbor to this day. It's called English Palmetto Island as opposed to Kiowa. Tainoâ-like words and grammatical features in Catawba. In Cusabo, were related to Tainoâ. One might expect to find traces of Tainoâ-like loanwords in Catawba as a result of contact. Catawba spoken up the Santee River and to the watery Hungary from the Cusabo area. Just as you find Cherokee and Muscovian loans in Catawba as a result of contact between Catawban speakers and Cherokees, and Catawban speakers and Muscovian speaking people. Again, the paucity of Tainoâ vocabulary makes this search difficult, but at least three possible loans have surfaced, as shown in F on the handout. The first is the Catawba word sri, rattle, dance rattle, snakes rattle, which compares favorably with island carrot, sisira, shaman's rattle. Second is Catawba PVD, which resembles Central American island carrot, adirit, and wahiro, adirit, thunder. And of course, both of those could be onomatopoeic and be a chance resemblance. The third one is the Catawba word for blood, which is eat, which is, as in itna and ita, our blood. Although it has been generally presumed that this root is related to Proto-Siouan E, which occurs in Crow and Johnson, Dakota, and Winnebago, and Biloxi. It is noteworthy that the island carrot word for blood, ita, as in Itao, blood, and ita, my blood, is as good a match as the Proto-Siouan blood. Influence from Cusabo may also account for the divergence seen in the pronominal affixes in Catawba as compared to those found in the Siouan languages. The personal pronominal affixes that are reconstructed from the Proto-Siouan, and this is based on information obtained from John Kuntz and Bob Rankin back in 2002. And those of Catawba are given alongside the affixes of Central American Island Carib, CIIC, the Arawakan language that Kyler identifies as being most similar to Tainoâ, in G on the handout. In the singular Proto-Siouan, one of the reasons for comparing this, I should mention for those who aren't familiar, is that Catawban used to be considered a branch of Siouan. It's now considered to be a sister language to Proto-Siouan, or Proto-Catawban and Proto-Siouan are sister languages. So that's why it's important to compare with Proto-Siouan. Proto-Siouan is reconstructed with separate first and person singular forms for an active pronominal series, waya, and a state of pronominal series, wong, and separate forms from our possession, wing, we. In the third person Proto-Siouan, wa is an indefinite pronoun that occurs in the active state of the possessive series, while e is reconstructed as the third person possessive marker. In Catawba, the vowel alternation between a and e in the first and second persons is lexically determined and has no semantic value. So there's no active state of difference in Catawba. The prefix is just marked subject. Well, they used to mark verbal subject and inalienable possessor on nouns. The suffixes are used to mark alienable possessor on nouns. In CAIC pronouns, just so you know what alternate is about, the L and I are masculine affixes, while the T and U in the third persons are feminine affixes. The symbol A just represents a vowel alternation. And they have a similar distribution to Catawba. The prefixes are used to indicate possessor. Okay, Rob, let me rapidly get this jump. There's words in there that give you etymologies for Cusabo names, actually per day. Let me do the summary. A connection between the Cusabo languages and Tainoâ is unexplained otherwise anomalous statement by the Spanish governor of Cuba, Dionisio de la Vega, who on August 27, 1728 remarked that all around there, the English towns are settlements where they have congregated a large number of Caribs Indians, allowing them those liberties to which they are accustomed, and in this manner they have succeeded in annihilating over 4/5 of the number of Indians who had sought refuge. The governor was referring specifically to English towns around Charleston. He could not have been using the term Carib Indians to refer to Indians in general, since the Spanish were well aware of the difference between Indians on the Caribbean islands and those on the mainland in the province of Florida. Neither could he have been referring to true Caribs or other Indians in the Caribbean islands, because the only island Indians in the Carolina colonies were slaves. He could only have been referring to the Cusabo Indians, also called the settlement Indians, whom the Indians did leave free as well around them, and they had lost about 4/5 of the population by 1728 disease numbers. The last paragraph, I'll just say that right now the data just consists of these place names. There is some possibility of more data. There was a French Huguenot, René Lavier, who said that while on a boat in the Santee River, he recorded wrote out a vocabulary from a Cusabo Indian. And I've had one colleague check the Huguenot archives in Britain to see if they could find René Lavier's vocabulary, and they haven't succeeded. But there are also Huguenot archives in France and elsewhere. So I have been in contact with all the Huguenot historical specialists who are on my behalf searching through archives to see if we can track down Lavier's vocabulary. If we get the vocabulary, then we have a really good shot at making a real statement about relationship to this language. But for now, it's very fragmentary, hypothetical. But there's better evidence for suggesting a Tainoâ relationship than anything else that anyone suggested. Donna?
We have time for one quick question.
Of the place names on the first page, what is the source for most of those? Are they literally Cusabo or?
Okay, if you go to Waddell's book on the Indians of the South Carolina Low Country, what he did is went through the archival material both in South Carolina, Britain, and the Spanish archive. And so those names occur in all the archival sources and published sources of the settlement of the Charleston area from the beginning on up through. This is, no. I mean, they're unknown up to this point. There is no etymology. The synonyms are given, the synonyms from Waddell are given in the handout with dates where they were recorded. And the sources are in the references to that.
But they are all handwritten.
Oh yeah, they're not, and they're not French.